Hello, everyone, for another show of EarthStar Talk. And today our guest is in Costa Rica, and it's Sandie Troup. And her website is 2-ascent.com in case you want to look her up. So welcome and hello.
Hi, Claudia.
My first question to you is, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your connection to the spirit world?
Yes. So, really in a nutshell, I came to Christianity as a young teenager. I was young and kind of disconnected from really any sort of religion once I got into college. And about 4 years ago, my life really changed. My marriage was not good, and we were in therapy. And it really is one of those things where I've heard the saying, you have to be knocked to your knees to really look up to the Lord, which is kind of what I did. And I thought that was my spiritual awakening. And I laugh now because my relationship with God really changed 4 years ago. But I found the depth of my spiritual journey, and really my true awakening happened a few months ago, where I really could see deeper into the universe and really had more of a spiritual belief that went past the 3D world, but more into a 5D world. So,
well, that gives me the chills. And when something gives me the chills, it's mostly spirit's way to say, this is deep, go deeper into it. So what exactly happened when you felt this deepening, this quickening? Because that's happening right now all over the world, that people awaken to, let's say, something. Maybe it's memory, maybe it's spiritual experience. So tell us what happened exactly to you, which you describe as deepening.
Yeah, well, I can tell you exactly. I went up to Sedona, Arizona, where there's an incredible group of healers, and the spiritual vortex there is, the energy is just indescribable. And the healer, after an 1.5-hour crystalline healing session, brought to my attention my purpose in this world, and really some of the things that I was going to be doing on this mission that God has put me on, and really the enlightenment that probably my story, my life story, and a lot of the things that I will say will change the world. And then she would refer me to another healer who then really enlightened me on a lot of my spiritual gifts that were at first a bit surprising, but when I really resonated with them, I wasn't surprised. I knew all along. For example, I have the gift of manifesting. I'm an empath 8, and I have the unique gift as an empath 8 to see in the future. And when I learned that, again, it wasn't shocking, because my intuition and gut have always been insanely good. But it was where, when I really started trusting it, and I no longer doubted it, because the world and the views and just the way I was raised in doubt and fear, when I really was able to push that aside, was when everything really started changing and opening up for me in a deep and different way. And I trusted it. I allowed it. I didn't fight it. And then I saw that I also have the gift of keeping one foot in the spiritual world and one foot in the real world, the three, right? And I think a lot of people sometimes, and I easily could too, you get very addicted to being in the spiritual world, and it's very lovely. But the reality of it is we are still humans here in this physical world. And a very wise mentor of mine said, it's really important that you keep your feet grounded and that people all over the world can really relate to the real Sandie Troup, because she's so authentic and genuine, and people will hear parts of her healing and story that will help them. So I hope that's what I can do today.
Sounds great. Thank you so much. And I got chills again. So you mentioned two very important things, which I tell my clients when I guide them on the spiritual journey. One is trust and the second is grounding. Trust really will open all the doors, as you said yourself. Oftentimes people get a lot of visions or see something or sense something. Ultimately, we are all empaths. We all have this gift of sensing, some stronger than others. Myself, for example, I'm a soul empath. I go into the spirit world and can follow all the strands and strings of the soul into the different realities, which comes in handy when I do past life regressions. But the second one is grounding. And grounding is so important because we are here on earth for a purpose. And the purpose might not be that we are the glorious leader or the glorious this and that and the famous that and this. The purpose is just an experience. We signed as a soul up for these experiences. Some karmic, destined, some free will. And I want to make aware every single viewer that you are on your purpose, and it doesn't have to be an outgoing one where I talk to people like here, or, you know, even my guiding ones always said it's important to accept wherever you are, because acceptance in a way is a good foundation for change and betterment. But acceptance comes first. And the second thing's about grounding, they said, you have to be like a tree, the head up high in the sky, like the crown of the tree, the feet firmly on the ground like roots, and then the center of your personality can flow free and be pliable and flexible. But this is not about me, this is about you. So how do you exactly connect with spirit personally? Do you do prayer? Do you do ceremonies? Do you do channeling? What do you do?
Yeah, you know, well, I'm going to give you the easy answer, and then I'm going to add a little bit to that. I definitely start my day in some sort of prayer or meditation. I really listen to my angelic guides. They really guide me. And a lot of times it is online where I'm reading things, and they will literally pop something up that they want me to read that I need to know. Sometimes it's channeling my guides through another healer. I just spent a session yesterday with this amazing healer, and again in Sedona, and he has the gift of actually channeling the spiritual world. And I have an amazing group of guides. Raphael and Michael are heading up my angelic guides, and obviously they're extremely powerful. So when I call them into a prayer, a manifestation, some sort of ridding of bad energy, healing, they all come in with such beauty, ease, and grace. And I find that I am so deeply connected that even a yoga session, if I set my intention in the beginning where I just really just want to do yoga with God, oh my God, God will reveal the craziest things to me. So I think it's opening your mind and heart, because the fact of it is God doesn't go away. He's always right there next to you.
Okay, to make it practical, I want to add two things to what you said. First of all, I want to underline your word intention, to set an intention, and then openness. I think that's very important. And whatever you're doing with your spiritual goals or prayers or ceremonies or channeling or whatever, to set an intention. What exactly, where would you like to go? What is the end result, so that our life can grow into that vision? What is our intention? And that is the part of creation, the co-creation, and to take responsibility about it. And
wow, that's powerful. And thank thank you, Claudia, because you just taught me something. You know, you're so right. Like so many times I will say a prayer and God's like, well, that was pathetic, right? Oh, hell, you know, I want this. And then it's sort of like he already gave that to me and I don't even see it. So I think being intentional about setting an intention is a beautiful piece of advice that I will take from you.
And the second part is about Archangel Michael, which is accessible to all of us. And there's a very powerful protection prayer. Archangel Michael's prayer means to call him in to you or through you, but also in front of you, behind you. You can say, Archangel Michael, be in front of me, behind me, right of me, left of me, above me, and below me, and protect me herewith. I'm getting chills again, so that was important for our viewers to know that they can call in Archangel Michael. That's his job description, to weed out the energies and to help support and defend against lower vibrations. So my guiding ones always say, tell your clients, please, to call more upon us. And one thing I want to add here, again, intention, to call in the best and highest spirit beings who can answer to the task, not just anybody. When I called on a student of mine and she was so happy channeling Jesus, and I said something isn't right. So I asked her about some question, you know, whether I would allow to connect to a guide, and she said, oh, sure. So I asked the guide some questions, and it came to be that he died, you know, several months ago in Mexico, and his name was Jesus, not Jesus. So to ask questions and verification, even for your own self, is always important. But back to you here. So what information do you get about the upcoming times? Have your guiding ones and guardians said anything about what is important for our upcoming times?
Yes. And in fact, you're timing on this clarity on that as kind of the days roll through. But what's clear to me is we're coming out of a really rough time and everybody is looking for something different. And I think the next year to 2 years is going to be chaotic transition. I think our world is shifting. And if you look at just a person's life shifting, that takes time. And then when you talk about the world shifting, that takes time. But I think the world is shifting and humanity actually is waking up to reality and truth. And I believe this is why God's timing is so perfect and why my success is sort of starting to become more important in terms of I'm a speaker, I'm an author, and I'm about the truth. And God has revealed to me that I will be a powerful method, a powerful means to get the truth out to the world in an authentic and gentle way. And that I probably will be a significant leader in this world. And a lot of our leadership is going to be changing. And I think it's very exciting. We have to just hold on to the raft really tight because the tides are going to be high and strong in the next couple of years. But then after that, it's going to be gorgeous.
Wonderful. Can you tell us a little bit practical advice? Our viewers, they hear this in glories and leadership and truth. That's all wonderful. But what can our viewers practically do to better their lives, better themselves, have a different outlook, not to be depressed about maybe political events or whatnot, not to get depressed about the duality? What we can do, in your opinion, as a spiritual leader, do practically, every one of us?
You know what? That's an excellent question. And I mean, my guides right away were screaming in my ears. Get off the TV, get off of the news, don't watch it, unplug your television set. And really be very intentional about how you're going to use that phone, really just to communicate with the people you must communicate with. I think that there's so much lies out there, and that they need to find their own truth by spending time with a piece of paper and a pen and journaling, meditating, finding time throughout the day. It doesn't mean just in the morning. Maybe if you have a crazy job, maybe set your alarm for the morning, maybe a half hour earlier than what you normally wake up, maybe a 15-minute break in the afternoon, and then a 15-minute break on your way home, even before when you've left the office and before you've gotten home to your family, to ask your guides, what do they want you to know, to bring to you what serves you and to air out what doesn't serve you. And it really is that simple.
And I saw on your website, you said the word journaling, which I find great, because one, as you said, it brings you to your core, focusing within instead of just being frazzled outside. I think that's an excellent idea. So you're selling a particular journal. What makes your journal book different than other journals, which you can get in any kind of store?
Yes, thank you so much for asking. It is available now on Amazon, and it's Journal Your Way to Success. And I'm excited it will be coming out in other languages, specifically in Spanish, any day now. But my journal is significantly different because just like you're asking me, I have people every day asking me, how the heck do you look the way you look, act the way you act, and heal from the trauma that you have been in? And so I wrote the book because I was tired of repeating myself, but this journal is different. It's 3 months, and I don't just have you free write, because I can think in the beginning when you're a new journaler, that can be very hard. So I give people specific things, 5 activities that they do each day, and maybe they don't want to do all 5. But basically, it's a gratitude list and setting aside time for prayer, meditation, setting goals, being intentional about your diet and exercise, and maybe a to-do list. And I really find, and I am passionate about the younger generations. And when I say younger, I'm in my 50s. So anyone younger than me, and you know what, honestly, anyone, because I'm yet to meet any individual that can say truly, I live a perfect life and I don't do anything that is imperfect, right? And I think we all have our own personal goals. So I show them how to do it. We dive in deeper. I challenge them more. And I do have an event coming up in Sedona in October where we kind of channel, and the topic is my secret recipe on how to make more money, how to double your income actually in 3 months. And basically, if that's your goal, is to double your income, I can show you how to do it in 3 months. And in fact, if you schedule a session with me, we could probably make that faster. But yeah, so it is. I actually think it's a brilliant book, and I'm going to be coming out with a level 2 because I'm hearing the public say, I'm almost done with this journal, what am I going to do? And I think by the time they've gone through a level 2, they are ready to really journal on their own. So yeah, I encourage people to get it. It's not about the money or sales for me. It's really about the healing and finding their renewed life.
And empowerment. I mean, money is just energy. And if we don't allow ourselves to have money, we are cutting ourselves up of energy. That means the natural energy flow of what the universe wants to bring to us is disrupted. And so we will always live in the lack rather than in the have. And I think that's important to change the mindset about money. Oftentimes, I send it to my clients a lot, a text about from a woman who wrote for Money Magazine. And she says, like, if you believe all millionaires are bad, you will never be a millionaire. If you believe you have to fight for your right, you have to fight for your money. Guess what? You will have to fight because your subconscious proves you're right. So It's a lot about attitude and your aspiration, plus also your perception about money per se. If you think money is dirty, well, guess what? You will never have any. So when you perceive money as just energy and that you deserve energy and the universe is a bountiful one, then that can change a lot, that you're opening yourself up to receiving more in general. One thing you mentioned earlier is about truth. I think that's important. My guiding ones also said by 2029 up to 2030, we also have to stand in our truth, self-sufficient, self-reliant, self-created, and self-responsible. But how do we get there? What do we find out about our own truth? I think it's important that we tune in and see what resonates with us. I think resonating, anything which resonates talks about truth to us in our particular point, in our time and space continuum where we are at the moment of time. I had a client ask me, about all this starseed stuff and whatnot. How do I know it's the truth, what you all are saying? And I said, well, does it resonate? She says, yes, all of it. I said, well, what does that tell you for your reality, for your viewpoint? I said, well, but how do I know the facts? And I asked her, what facts are you actually looking for? Yeah. So how do we measure truth is a very interesting other point. So how do you measure your truth? How do you know what I say is truth?
Yeah. And you know what it is? Like, I'm going to go back to that woman that you were just referring to, because that was me. And just like I said earlier in the show, I didn't trust what I was hearing from the universe, right? I was doubting it. So I just, I think that, you know what, it really is simple. You've got two people that tell you a story, and one person is a liar and one person is speaking the truth. It's almost like that game show. And you've got to decide who the liars are and who the truth speaking person is. And boy, the liars, they're good. They're really good at lying. But the one true person knows how to stand by their position no matter what happens. And I also believe that if it's the right person and they're very intentional with their words and they're delivering a message with ease and grace, people are going to see the authenticity in their message, and that will resonate as their truth. But again, I know that when I speak, for most people, it does resonate. But I have critics. And I'm all about critics because I don't mind being challenged. And I also know the critics bring attention to my truth, so a lot more people end up hearing it. And then the critics end up sometimes coming over the other side. And that's exciting to see. But, I'm not going to worry about the way it goes down.
All right. So before we close the show, any particular extraordinary spiritual experiences you would like to share, something extraordinary where the viewers can say, wow, this is amazing. Anything particular, any kind of a lightning factor? I mean, you showed us already, you told us a little bit, but anything particular comes to mind? I don't want to put you on the spot here.
Yeah.
But I think we all have these key elements. You talked earlier about the truth, opening up to receive, letting go of your resistances. But any particular else which comes to mind, like an enlightening experience?
Yeah. I mean, there are some that, the viewers are going to have to get to know me a little bit better before I say them, because they might think I'm a bit cuckoo. So I'll save those. But the ones like, okay, for example, I might be sitting with somebody and just trying to get to know them, but they're hesitating and really revealing their true self. And I find myself asking questions that are not my questions, but the angels' questions. And they're exactly what the person needed to hear or exactly what they wanted me to ask. So I basically, what I'm trying to say is I do realize now when I lean in to the universe that I really know what someone else is thinking before they say it, which is really pretty cool. And Claudia, you know what else? I also know that whatever I want in this life, I used to think would just be just a dream, but actually, and in fact, you know how to do that. And those, for me, the power of the Holy Spirit, there's no denying it. No denying it when you see things happen like that.
Okay, unfortunately, it got a little bit laggy again, you know, with the long distance and Zoom call here. Could you say the last sentence one more time, please, because it cut you off? It was about that the Holy Spirit comes down and works through you, something like that?
Yes. So what I said was all of the powers, all of the enlightenments that I've had are really from God, right? And they're the Holy Spirit in me. And you cannot deny the power of the Holy Spirit.
Sounds wonderful. And it's so true. Sandie, Troup, thank you so much. And people who want to connect with Sandie, please go to true-ascend.com. I will put it underneath the video here today as usual, and you can contact her that way. So thank you again and have a blissful day and all the best. Thank you.
Pura vida. Bye-bye, Claudia.
Bye-bye. Thank you, viewers, being patient here with a little lagginess on our show today. And I want to remind you that the Holy Spirit, that which is soul, works through all of you, not through the glorious ones out there, through all of us. That means, and I don't want to get into religion or anything, means you are a walking aspect of God on this planet. And the source, God's source, works through you too. So I hope you can take a little lighter step today. And I hope you will get the consciousness that you're always connected to source and never ever really disconnected. All the disconnect which you might feel come actually from our limitational beliefs. So I would encourage you to think a little bit bigger and also to think a little bit bigger about yourself. With that said, I wish you a glorious day. Till next time, hopefully live.